So welcome back to Healing America's Narratives. We're still amid chapter 11. We'll be here for a while. Previous 6 or 7 episodes, we've been speaking about various questions and statements that might help us individually at first begin this process of healing and working with shadow. And I'd like to connect some of them now in the context of the history of the United States, the history of women, African Americans, Native Americans, the Vietnam War, post 9/11 war on terror, and much else, to begin to see how these questions and how our perceptions of these questions and statements can really impact us. So we're going to work with 3 of them, just very, very briefly. First one, who am I really? How do I identify myself? What do I think my existence is all about? The second one is everything is a story. And the third one is, who are my people? So from a body-mind perspective, if I identify as just this physical body and I have a mind, I can think and make decisions, it's a little bit easier to see others as other, to really dehumanize other human beings. So it was easier to say something like, and this is from Andrew Jackson back in the 1830s, he can make remarks like leaving the deluded Creeks and Cherokees to their fate and annihilation. It's easier to understand, not really easier to understand, but we can see how this kind of body-mind identity could conceivably lead to the decades of lynchings that followed the Civil War, lynchings of blacks by whites, and how Vietnam vet John Musgrave, referring back to how he was led to view the Vietnamese he was fighting against, basically allowed him to think as a young man, he could dehumanize them and speak about wasting gooks and waxing dinks, but never really kill a human being. Right? So that identity, how I identify myself as a human being, whether it's body, mind, soul, or spirit, as being my primary identity is important. From a soul-based, and when we speak about soul, we're speaking about it in the context that Bill Plotkin uses it as one's unique place in the world, one's unique ecological niche. We see that we're part of this existence, this reality, where everyone has this. We're part of this larger community of living and even non-living things that have a unique place, whether it's a rock, a worm, a tree, a snake, a human being. And there's this greater sense of community and identity with each other from a soul-based position or perspective. From a spirit-based perspective, it's a sense of oneness. Words, you are not other than I. We are manifestations of the same consciousness or awareness. So that's, I'm doing this really, really quickly, but it's important to be able to understand the relationship now. Every one of those identities is a story. Everything is a story. And I can think of myself as this collection of, chemicals and, bones and nerves and muscle and sinew and all of that, with a brain that works, and I can make some decisions. I can see myself as a unique expression in the world, a soul-based perspective. And I can see myself as, a manifestation of this one spirit. Each one of those is a story. Some might be truer than others, but we're not going to argue truth or falsehood right now. They lead us to then sense, so who are my people? And if I'm just a body mind, and I have a certain skin pigmentation and ethnicity and language of origin and country of origin, and all my ancestors, I might identify with just my people, from skin pigmentation, ethnicity, history, etc. From a soul-based perspective, it expands out more. Oh, I'm just another one of these unique entities, these unique beings in the world. And I share that with everyone else and everything else. And from a spirit perspective, the argument I would make is that it's all my people. The idea of people even falls away. We're all, as Thich Nhat Hanh would say, we're all interbeing, right? We interbe with each other. So I'm going to bring that to a close now, just to begin to see the relationships among these questions and statements. Again, who am I really has an impact on who am I? impact on everything as a story. And if you think about it, I am going to die, how I respond to that one, is greatly impacted by my sense of identity, who I think I am, and my story around death and identity. So it's all related, and it's all related in the context in these conversations of what it will take to heal the many stories in America. Some are kind of mythical, some are based in truth, and to really investigate, identify, own, and integrate our collective shadow, that which we deny about ourselves as Americans. So thank you again for tuning in. I will see you the next time. We're going to continue with this chapter 11 for a while.